Every time something sets you off, stop running and start dissecting. Your triggers are not just random bursts of frustration or irritation. They are weapons of self-discovery. They are the unfiltered truth about where you are still weak, where you are still wounded, where you are still vulnerable to being controlled. And if you want to forge yourself into something unbreakable, untouchable, and unstoppable, then you need to start treating those triggers like battle markers, indicators of exactly where the fight needs to happen. Most people are emotional cowards. They get triggered and immediately look for a way out. Blame someone else, play the victim, drown in distractions. That is the path of the weak. They think avoiding what bothers them will somehow make them stronger, but all it does is reinforce their fragility. A man who cannot sit in his own discomfort will never rule over anything, not even himself. Your triggers are not the problem. Your avoidance is. If a comment shakes you, if a situation makes you spiral, if a thought sends you into an emotional frenzy, it's not the external force doing that to you. It's your own internal chaos, your own unresolved garbage. The outside world just pulled the lever. The bomb was already inside you. You want to become something terrifyingly powerful? Then start taking your triggers apart like a master assassin dismantling a target. Strip them of their mystery, their control, their ability to throw you off balance. Every time you feel yourself losing control, step into the storm instead of away from it. Track the emotion to its source. What fear is behind it? What insecurity? What old wound is still bleeding under the surface? Most people never do this work. They let their triggers define them, rule them, make decisions for them. They react instead of analyze. They are puppets, not men. And you see it everywhere. Men who crumble at the slightest criticism, who lash out over petty things, who get lost in self-pity instead of sharpening themselves like a blade. When you confront a trigger head-on, you strip it of its power. You turn the hunter into the hunted. Instead of it controlling you, you now use it as fuel, as data, as the very thing that will forge your next level. You get triggered in a relationship? Good. That's showing you exactly where you are emotionally weak. Instead of blaming the woman, lock in and start refining yourself. What does this situation reveal about you? Are you insecure? Are you afraid of abandonment? Are you trying to control something that isn't yours to control? You get triggered by society, by culture. Perfect. That's showing you where you still have emotional reactions to things outside your control. That's an invitation to build a fortress inside your mind, one that no trend, no ideology, no movement can shake. A man who is unbothered is a man who is untouchable. And here's the real test. When was the last time something triggered you, and instead of reacting, you sat with it, you dissected it, you faced it like a warrior instead of running like a coward? Most will never do this. They will drown in distractions, numb themselves, and convince themselves that avoiding the fight is the same as winning it. It's not. You don't win battles by running. You win by stepping forward, blade in hand, and taking apart everything that stands in your way, piece by piece. So the next time something triggers you, don't flinch. Don't react. Don't run. Turn into it. Stare it down. Own it. Because your triggers are the greatest map you will ever have. They are pointing you to every single weak point in your armor, every crack in your foundation, every shadow of your past that still holds you in chains. And if you refuse to face them, then you have already lost. But if you do, if you start attacking them with precision, with intensity, with a ruthless hunger to eliminate every last one, then there is no man, no woman, no force on this earth that can shake you ever again. Because this is how legends are built. This is how kings are made. Look around you. The world is filled with weaklings masquerading as men. They shrink at confrontation. They crumble under pressure. They drown in their own excuses. They wear their fragility like a badge of honor. demanding the world bend to their feelings rather than hardening themselves to meet reality. And what happens? They stay small. They stay weak. They stay prey. You are not here to be prey. You are here to dominate, to stand firm, to forge yourself into something that doesn't break, doesn't beg, doesn't bow. But you cannot do that if every little thing in the world is capable of throwing you off course. If words can shake you, you have no foundation. If a woman's opinion can unravel you, you have no self-respect. If the noise of the world can dictate your emotional state, you are a slave. So burn this into your mind. Your triggers are your greatest teachers. Every single one is an opportunity to level up, to carve away the weak parts of yourself, to remove the rot, to become unshakable. And the day you truly master this, the day nothing and no one can make you break your frame, react like a fool, or spiral into self-destruction, that is the day you step into real power. There will come a time when you stand before something that once made your blood boil, and it will barely register. Not because you've become numb, but because you've evolved beyond it. You will be untouchable, not indifferent. Indifference is for the apathetic. True mastery is when you see the same enemy, the same challenge, the same insult, and it has no pull over you anymore. Most men never get there. They are stuck in cycles of weakness, reacting like predictable machines. They never do the work to sever the strings that control them. But you are not most men. This is your war. Fight it, win it, rule over it, or sit back and stay prey. Your choice.